Good morning, everyone. I'm just going to walk you through the medical terminology class that we will be starting today. And I have it on the student view. So when you log into your class, this should be the landing page that you see. And so we'll just get started. Of course, this is the announcements page. If you click on the course syllabus, you will be able to download the syllabus and you'll also be able to download the lesson plan. I highly suggest that you download the lesson plan and use it as a checklist as we go through class, and that will help to keep you on task. The next tab is course content. And at the very top is your Zoom link. So you will just click on the actual link, which says BIO118 Zoom link. See, it gives you the little hand there. So that's the link that you'll use every time that you join the Zoom for this medical terminology class. Now, moving down, you'll see that the content is divided into days. And the first day, which is today, we will already be Zooming, so you don't have to worry about that. The only requirement before we start the content on Tuesday will be to view this review or introduction to the class. So if we look at day 2, which is Tuesday, 6:15, and the classes will follow the same pattern as we go, but this day 2, we will do an ed puzzle from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. and then you will join the Zoom from 10 a.m. to 11:30, and we will apply the contents of the lessons. And then we, on day 2, we're going to talk about your medical terminology game topics and team assignments. And then at 11:30, you'll take a post-test. The homework that's going to be due fairly consistently throughout the class is completing the lessons in the textbook and then making flashcards that from the documents that I have provided. And so that pretty much continues every single day of the class pretty routinely. So let's just look at some content in day 2. It'll be very similar in each day. So you can see at the top your lesson 1 and 2 ed puzzle. And I just put some verbiage in here that the link to the ed puzzle will appear on the day that you need to do it at midnight or at 0000 hours in that morning. So for your first lesson for ed puzzle will be on 6:15. I will post the link so that it will be available at the top of the day on 6:15, and then you'll need to complete that prior to joining the Zoom. So it doesn't have to be at 8 a.m. If you want to complete it at 1 a.m. that morning, that's perfectly fine with me. Just make sure that you get it completed before 10 a.m. Otherwise, you will be deducted points for it being late. And it will be scored based on your performance. So each ed puzzle is going to be worth 25 points. If you were to receive an 80% on that ed puzzle, then you would get 20 of those points. There isn't anything that you need to submit. You'll just click on the link, complete the ed puzzle, and that's all that you'll need to do. For the lessons of the homework, you will complete them in your textbook. Now, I think there is an online component, and you do not need to provide documentation in the Blackboard of that, but complete all of the lesson work for lesson 1 and lesson 2, and then you're going to upload those separately for each individual lesson. So for lesson 1, after you finish all the work in your book, you'll use some sort of scanning app, and you're going to scan all of those pages, group them into one document. Please do not submit 20 individual documents. I will not grade it. I will send you a message saying, hey, you need to batch all of these pages together so it's one seamless document. Also, make sure the entire page is captured so that I can see every corner, and including the page number. Also, make sure that it is in portrait orientation, which means it's up and down, not across like landscape. So make sure that it's portrait orientation, and make sure that it is legible, it's not blurry or anything like that before you upload it. And just attach it as an assignment to the gradebook. And again, the way that you do that is you just click on lesson 1 homework exercises. If you want to look at the rubric, it's there for you. It shows you when it's due, what time it's due, which is Colorado time. It's 8 a.m. our time. And then how many points it's possible. And then you would just click Browse Local Files, navigate to where you have saved the document, and choose that, and then hit Submit. And you would do that for both exercises. Remember, these assignments are due by the start of class at 8 a.m. The 2 other assignments that you will have routinely for every single lesson are these Quizlet flashcard assignments. So I have attached the flashcards that I want you to use for each of these assignments. You're going to use Quizlet. If you've never used Quizlet before, all you have to do is type in Quizlet in a Google search, and you will get to Quizlet.com, and just create yourself a free account and then create a set of flashcards. And please label them lesson 1 or lesson 2 or lesson 3, whatever the case may be, and then include all of the flashcards. So on the front will be the term or the abbreviation or the word part, and on the back of the electronic flashcard is going to be the definition. And then go ahead and just copy that link. Make sure that you change the settings so that it is available for other individuals to access. Copy that link into the lesson. So there's a couple ways that you can do that. You can click on the lesson here. You can paste the link in the comments section here and just hit submit, or you can copy and paste that link onto a Microsoft Word document and then attach the document by browsing local files, navigating to where you save the document and selecting that, and then clicking submit. So either way is acceptable. So you'll have 2 of those, all right? So on Tuesday of next week, you will have your lesson 1 and lesson 2 due, and your flashcards for lesson 1 and lesson 2 due. And then you'll also need to complete your ed puzzle prior to our Zoom at 10 a.m. Okay? I have provided the PowerPoints for the textbook. There are also online resources that you can access in your textbook that are really helpful as well. And so I suggest just following the instructions in your textbook and it will get you there. So we're going to go back to course content, and sorry, one second. Let's just Oh, okay. Sorry, I was thinking I have an element of for your games and your teams, but I think that must be hidden. So we will talk about that in class, the medical terminology games. So as we kind of look down through day 3, day 4, those are exactly the same as day 2, except for different lessons, of course. Day 5, you're going to have a asynchronous day. So it says that in the verbiage, and then we're also getting ready for the midterm. So if we click into day 5, this does remind you that there will be an asynchronous activity, but the content for that activity will not be available until 8 a.m. that day. And the reason is because we want you to complete this asynchronous activity on the day of class so that you get your attendance points. So it's just going to be a series of documents for lessons 1 through 6, and it's going to help you review for your midterm, and then those will be due by midnight. So you don't have to work on them between the hours of 8 and noon if you do not want to, but make sure that you have those uploaded by midnight, and that assignment is worth 25 points. On day 6, you will have your midterm. The link is not yet available for your midterm. It will appear at 8 a.m. on the day that you are to take your midterm. You will go ahead and click on the link and complete your test. For the midterm, you will have a 30-minute window to access the exam, which is from 0800 to 0830 to access the exam. The midterm is going to cover lessons 1 through 6, and it is worth 50 points. The exam consists of 140 multiple choice questions, and you will have 1 minute for each question. 140 minutes total to complete the exam. When you take the exam, you will not be able to go back to change an answer. All right? Questions will appear 1 question at a time. You will have the opportunity to make up some points that you miss on your midterm using Quizlet. So what you will do is, after you take your test, you can go back to the grade book, click on the grade for your test, and that will show you the questions that you missed. What you would do to get some points back, if you so choose, this is not mandatory, you will create a flashcard for every missed question. Please title it as medical terminology midterm flashcards, and then create a flashcard for each missed question, question on one side, answer on the back with the page number from the text of where you found your answer. You must have that page number with the answer, or I will not award additional credit. So once you get that finished, email that link to me by the end of the midterm day, 6/9, and you will receive 10% back on your exam for each missed question. Okay, so that was day 6. So day 7, day 8, and day 9 will be similar to the beginning of the course, where you're completing the ed puzzle, joining Zoom at 10 a.m., and then completing a post-test. The same types of assignments will be due, the work in your textbook and the flashcards for those corresponding lessons. When we get to day 10 is going to be similar to the other asynchronous day that you had, in that you're going to have a review activity. All right. There's also a reminder that finals are the following day, so we will not meet on Zoom. The asynchronous activity will appear for you at 8 a.m. on the day that you need to complete them, and make sure that you have those completed by midnight that night. The other thing that you will need to do has to do with this top section here, which is posting your game links that you created in your teams. So each of you will be assigned 2 lessons. And so you will designate someone to post those links. The way that you will do that is, this is kind of similar to the threaded discussion. You will click on post game link. Whoever is going to post those links, click on create thread. Go ahead and title it as the lessons, lesson 1 and 2, or whatever the case may be. Copy and paste the links into the message and then click submit. Make sure that you change the privacy settings for the games on whatever platform that you used. And we'll talk more about this in class. All right, so let me just navigate back to that day 10 because Blackboard gets snarky. Okay, so this is the entirety of day 10. And then day 11, what you're going to do is you will have an asynchronous review activity. And that activity, again, will appear on the day that you need to complete it so that you are getting attendance for that day by completing it on that day. And then you will have an activity that you will have to do. And the instructions will be available to you on that day. And then that brings us to our very last day, which is day 12. And on day 12, what you're going to do is complete the student satisfaction survey. Again, that satisfaction survey will be available at 8 a.m. You will have from 8 a.m. to 8:30 to complete that survey. Please do that prior to taking your exam. It isn't here, but the link will be there at 8 a.m. on the 7th of July, okay? And then at 8:30, your final exam will open. Again, you'll have a 30-minute window to access that exam. The final is a comprehensive exam. It covers lessons 1 through 12, and the exam will be worth 100 points, which is 10% of your grade. The exam will consist of 200 multiple choice questions, and you will have 200 minutes to complete the exam. Again, you will have the opportunity extended to you to get some additional points back on your final exam by creating flashcards using Quizlet for your missed questions. Remember that each flashcard needs to have the question on one side and the correct answer with the page number on the other side, and then email that link to those flashcards to me by midnight on the day of your exam. And that will wrap up our class. And kind of similar to this class, there will be that transition into Anatomy and Physiology 1, and there will be another intro that you will need to listen to for the Anatomy and Physiology class. Aside from the course content, some resources that I have kind of collected are posted here for you, so you can kind of go through these and kind of poke around and see what's in here. The tools is always the same in Blackboard, but again, I want to point out the usefulness of the calendar. All right, this is just looking at medical terminology, and you can see every single thing that's due. I would suggest printing this out. This is a fantastic guide for you. Here is my contact information. You guys have my cell phone number. This is my desk number, but either way, if you call my cell phone or my desk, you will get my cell phone. So there's a reminder of what my email is. If you're like, oh, I don't know her email and I need to send her a Quizlet link, Here's where you can find the instructor contact information. It should always be there for you in whatever class that you are taking. Access to your email, the library, and the help desk. All right, and that concludes our overview for medical terminology. I look forward to sharing this class with you, and thanks for listening.